Welcome to Season 2 of Why Your Business is Invisible Online. This season, we focus on the dramatic change artificial intelligence is having on your online visibility. Joining me are my two co-hosts, and here they are.
Hi, this is Jim Filatico. I'm currently obsessed with planning my next beach adventure for my whole family.
Hi, I'm Kelly Biggs. We're talking about AI this season. I'm wondering, can I get an AI agent to clean my house?
And I'm your host, John Manatis, still glued to my guitar, but with my new band planning our next tour. I was watching a guitarist, and it was not bad. It was a pretty decent video. But then I looked closely at his, fingering the chords and so forth, and he had like 6 fingers, nowhere near the chord structure that it should have been. But that's any guitarist would have caught that. But yeah, the average person would have looked at the video and said, "Okay, not bad. It's pretty interesting." Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
And my final one, and then I'm gonna toss to Jim to talk a little bit about AI personalization or whatever topic he wants. But AI customer service agents.
Well, we're using them. So we're using them for client work. We're using them for our own internal. I'm using them for outbound sales efforts.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So I'm a big fan of the technology because it's gotten so good. You can't tell anymore. And you don't have to be a grandma to be swindled by some of these AI agents. We use a company called Amplify Voice, and they're one of our partners. And they do a great job of taking our context of what we're selling, what we're talking about, and then calling those leads that did inquire. We are actually using it for our dead leads, the ones that didn't respond. So we got nothing to lose at this point. But the beauty of that kind of interaction is that we can call 10,000 people, or they can call 10,000 people in just a few seconds. And we don't have to. Now we get 6 leads from that. Costs us a couple $100. That's worth it. We would never have been able to try to connect to all those dead leads if, you had to have the database, you had to have those people that agreed originally to be contacted, but they're great. They sound great. They have empathy. They listen. Yeah. They're fast. It's not the old agents of the past. So
there's not that 10, 15 second lag when you can hang up the phone.
Right. Yeah. Well, I will say this for anybody who doesn't want to be called by AI agents, I have a hack. And my hack is when you answer your phone, don't say hello. I say, "This is Robert." And so when I say "This is Robert," if there's a pause, I hang up.
That's what I do.
So I get it. That's how I bypass them. Not that I don't want to be called by them, but I'm too busy. I don't have time for that.
Well, I keep on getting that they can fix my Google business profile.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
And I said, "Do you even know I'm a digital marketer. That's what I do."
All right.
Okay, bye.
There's nothing the matter with my page.
Yeah, thanks.
Fix it. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, we did talk, and I think we've hit this subject, but we talk about personalization, and you brought up a good point because I got really deep into it, Susie, where we talked about what she was all about and where she was going and all those kind of things. But what are some tips? What are some hacks that we can use that help us personalize without being too hyper-focused, that kind of allows the AI type search to kind of lean into what we're providing as far as content and context? But is there a way to make it more generic so it caters to a broader audience, or are you diluting it too much?
Oh, that's an interesting opposite challenge. So instead of trying to align the models on making sure you come up, you want to make sure you're if you're looking specifically at language models, then again, you have to go back to the intent of the user. If the user is being brought in there, like I asked the question, what's the best TV for gaming? I didn't say what the best 3D 4K TV for gaming was. Mm-hmm. So that broad of an audience, you would need to have, again, similar technique, but content related to the generic approach. So I think that's the answer to that question. Again, not knowing marketing, but only knowing AI. That's how I would approach it.
Yeah. I would think then you just have multiple articles, that'd be the other way to do it.
I guess I do have to say that there is some truth to the authority mechanism, which I mentioned backlinks is not really what they care about, but they care about the authority and the repetition. So a lot of these websites have huge distribution and huge user, bases. I'm not sure they're going to weigh it more heavy, but they're going to reference the title of that article. If the article is a content about the best TVs for gaming, it's going to look at that as context, even though it's not part of any content on the user's website, right? Samsung didn't put it out, but Consumer Reports did, and that's still valuable. So, yeah.
Yeah, you could argue
It's
more
funny,
valuable.
I saw a hack. Have you heard of people? Sorry, there was a hack that whatever. We listen to a lot. We train on this stuff all the time. And anyway, they were saying that there was some hack about putting on your website the best digital marketer in Atlanta, Georgia, and if I could put that in some kind of a tablet. I mean, put other people out there, but if I give it enough context, it could get you ranking in a LLM search.
I don't know about that hack, but I do know there was one that put out a good year or two ago. There was a website that could produce 400 or 500 blog posts in a second, and it would post it, and then, which is kind of like it's hacking by just sheer force. Right, or ping flooding, or DDoS attack or something.
Yeah,
I think that the models are getting away from that. But I also say that Cloudflare, if you were heard recently, they announced a tool that allows websites to basically take language model crawlers on a vicious kind of rabbit trail of
joyride.
Joyride to keep them off their site, which is a very interesting tactic to direct them away from taking New York Times data or Reddit data. So that's not what you want to do. You want the opposite to happen.
Right.
That's just a product Cloudflare is selling. Yeah.
To wrap things up, Robert, what we wanted to ask you was, and there's a whole bunch of probably answers to this, but if you had to pick one, and you were talking to a CMO or CEO, and you want to help them make sure their brand stays visible in this new AI environment, is there like one tip or hack or idea you would plant in their heads to ensure that they're on the right track and in terms of keeping their company visible now with AI?
Well, I'm going to give you two major call outs. So, okay, CEOs, listen to me very clearly. You are on the chopping block.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
You are one of two types of businesses that are giving the future. Those who are using AI and those who are closed. And that is not hyperbole.
Oh, wow.
You need to get on the bandwagon because what people aren't doing is I'm going to get on my soapbox here. What they're doing is they're kind of doing a blind eye. Bad CEOs are kind of saying, oh, yeah, I heard that my department over here, there's some guys in the sales team that are using AI. They just love it. That is scary because what you're hearing people using it for whatever they want and in whatever ways they want. Who cares about client data, personal privacy data, IP data for your company? Let's put that aside. The fact that you as a CEO don't have a strategic vision on how to corner the market of your competitors in AI, you got to be strategic. So my advice to you is get with an AI consultant. WSI's got plenty of them, not to plug us too much, but you need to use somebody who can help you do an adoption of AI across the organization, give you a 2-year goal of what kind of AI business you want to be, help you design guardrails to get there, and then help you train your team. You cannot do anything unless you upskill your employees because you're falling behind, not just your company and your product and service, but those inside your team. I'll give you a great quote. There was a CEO talking to his CFO, and the CFO says, what if I train all these employees and they leave? And the CEO goes, what if we don't and they stay?
That's a great.
That's what you're dealing with right now.
Fantastic.
You're dealing with a bunch of technology, a bunch of people who are old school, right? There's no experts except for people who are really embedded in it like we are. So you're allowing them to do the old habits and they're falling behind inch by inch. You don't even know it. So that's my advice.
Awesome. No, that's great. And it's a good wake-up call for everybody. I mean, I'm starting to hear more and more people are jumping on board. It's just they don't have that discipline. And I think the faster they get on board. We talked about this earlier with Kelly and Jim. If you're going to scale anything in this space, you better have processes, disciplines, common understanding across your organization. So that was a great way to close. Thank you so much, Robert, for your time. That was a lot of fun, especially the lightning
Yeah,
round.
great. It's a pleasure being here.
Yeah, that was
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah, we really,
thanks so
really
much.
appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in to Why Your Business is Invisible Online. If you enjoyed today's episode, please do us a favor and subscribe and follow us on Spotify and Apple. Be sure to share it with other business owners who might find it helpful. If you want to dig deeper, contact us at ruinvisibleonline.com. That's capital letter R, capital letter U, followed by invisibleonline.com. Or message us on our LinkedIn business profile with the same title, Are You Invisible Online? The information shared in this podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be considered professional advice. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and may or may not reflect the official policy or position of WSI Corporate. Always consult a qualified digital marketing expert before making significant changes to your online strategy. Until next time, keep connecting with the people who matter most to your business and join us for our next episode.